Welcome or welcome back. My name's Angie, and this is my YouTube channel. Hello, everybody. There has been a slight change of plans. So, what's it called? I have decided that I am going to be doing a TBR wheel. So, instead of the bookshelf tour, I'm basically going to put all of my unread books into a picker wheel, and I'm going to spin it a few times, and that'll select the next books that I'm going to read. Currently, I'm reading Freak's Law by Jane Fleet. So once I finish that, I will read whatever book that I spin on the spinner. It is time to spin. Bom, bom, bom. That did not spin. That was embarrassing. Okay, time to spin. Oh, we've even got the sound effect on right by the mic. What do we got? Killer Instinct! Okay. So, that is the sequel to The Naturals. Or it's the next in the series, at least. And I've been meaning to read that. Because I did like The Naturals a bit. I was thinking, my only opinion on The Naturals was that it felt a little bit cheesy. Because I think it's a young adult novel. So there's like a love triangle, which I'm not typically a big fan of. I'm mostly in this series for the fact that it's almost like Criminal Minds style, but for kids. And I'm really sticking it out here. Not that it's like terrible or anything. It's just it was a little uninteresting for me. Even though like some of the plot twists were really nice. I'm ready to read the sequel, and I'm excited to see what it brings. And after I finish this baby, I'll be on it. I will be seeing you guys later. Okay, I am officially done with Freak's Law, and I will talk about that in a different video, but I will mark this as me starting Killer Instinct, and once I give myself a good update on what happened in the last book, I'll be off to the races. I'll probably come back and update once I'm around halfway through, just to see where I'm at mentally, and probably to spin for the next book. But yeah, yet again, I will see you later. Hello again. It is Angie from the next day, and I've hit about halfway through this book, and I'm gonna be so for real. I forgot how much I loved the first book because it had been such a long time. Like, typically, I'm not super into young adult stuff, but I forgot that this was kind of like crack. So far, really good. Yeah. Kind of ignore what I said in the first clip, like before I started reading this, because I went back and like read the summary of what happened and started remembering stuff, and I forgot how much I liked that book. Yeah, I guess I'll come back when I'm done to give my review, and we'll go from there. Okay, it is the next day again, and I'm back. I finished the Killer Instinct. I almost said The Naturals, which is the first book, but I gave it a 4 stars, 4 out of 5, for those who may not know the system. I forgot how much I like this series, as I said in the last clip, and I think that Jennifer Lynn Barnes, especially for YA, has a really nice and easy writing style to get into. Like, I've flown through the past 2 books that I've read by her, and they are the only 2 books that I've read by her. But still, I think that all the characters are nice. I think they're cool and interesting to a certain degree. The plot is a little bit predictable, but not in a way that really makes me mad. I was still kind of guessing as we went on, but I could kind of tell where it was going. The only thing I wasn't super happy with was the romance, the love triangle. Not to be repetitive, but the main character in this, she has to kind of choose between the two guys. And I won't spoil it, but I'm saying I'm not super happy with the guy that she seems to be picking right now. But I think there's 3 other books in this series, so there's always time for her to pick another one. Now, the time we've all been waiting for is our next book. Hehehe. Never Whistle at Night. Okay, I'm excited about this one. I got this for my birthday. Shout out to Haley for buying it for me after she asked me very conspicuously what I wanted for my birthday. So let me just put this on the shelf. So this is a collection of short stories, but I believe indigenous dark fiction. So I think this is a nice vibe change from the last book that I read. Since it is a short story collection, it should have some decent variety within it too, so I won't get bored. I'm also really into this cover, by the way. Don't judge a book by its cover, but pretty good. But yeah, so I'll start that soon enough, and once I get into it, I'll come back. And we're back. I finally finished Never Whistle at Night. I'm not gonna lie, it took me longer than I hoped it would, but we have another 4-star read. Honestly, I don't think I have as much to say about this as I thought I would. It gave me exactly what I was expecting it to give. I will say I did partially read this on a retreat in like the Pocono Mountains, and reading about people getting like wrecked in the woods probably wasn't the best idea. It did leave me a little bit unsettled, I won't lie, but I really thought this was great overall. I liked learning about indigenous culture and folklore and stuff like that. It also did a really good job at reflecting on the problems that Native Americans face or have faced in America all throughout history. It was also eye-opening for me just to learn a little bit more about those kinds of problems, but also have something super interesting to relate it back to. Now, all of the stories weren't completely my cup of tea. I feel like I'm really particular when it comes to horror. Like, there are certain things that actually scare me, and then everything else I kind of feel underwhelmed about. So there were a few of these stories that really like got to me, and it definitely was great. I will say, if you ever plan on reading this book, there's a lot of gore, and there's some really messed up racism, homophobia, sexual assault. Like, look up trigger warnings, perhaps. But yeah, I definitely would recommend it. Okay, so it is time to spin the wheel. Oh my god, I click wrong every time. Let's see. Gory Details! Okay, wait, this is exciting. Okay, so Gory Details is one of the books on my nonfiction shelf, which all of them are pretty much the same kind of vibe. Most of the books on my nonfiction shelf have something to do with forensic science, death, that kind of stuff, because it's what interests me. And I'm not a super big fan of nonfiction if it isn't interesting to me. I'll just read the blurb for y'all so you get a better idea of what it's about, because it feels like a very general title. With wicked wit and a dash of morbid curiosity, this provocative narrative from the author of National Geographic's popular Gory Details blog takes us on a fascinating journey through an astonishing new reality where our weirdest and wildest fascinations will be illuminated. No subject is off limits for acclaimed science reporter Erika Engelhaupt, who boldly investigates the gross, the taboo, the morbid, as well as the absurd realities of our bodies and our universe. So yeah, sounds pretty cool. Kind of fits within the same vibe of Never Whistle at Night, but I did read another book after that to like cleanse my palate, so I should be perfectly fine with this. So yeah, I'll come back. Okay, I have finished, for the most part, Gory Details, and I'm not gonna lie, did not really like it. I gave this a 2.5 stars, and that's mostly just because a lot of the topics and stuff in here were kind of uninteresting. Like, my whole big thing was like, oh, it'll be cool to learn about disgusting stuff, but this wasn't really all that bad, I guess. I feel like I was expecting more from it, and there was a few like mini essays and stuff that were interesting to me, but even with those, I already partially knew about it. Like, there was a whole thing on forensic science, and I knew basically everything that this lady wrote down. And about her, even, I didn't really like the writing style. It felt more centered on her and her experiences than like the facts of the situation in general. So yeah, this was a 2.5 star read for me. Because I'm trying to give it the benefit of the doubt, because it's more so me not being interested than it being a bad book. But I'm very excited to spin again because I need something interesting to read. Okay, so I'm deciding that this is going to be the last book for the video, but it is time to spin. The Dante Club. Okay, let me go grab it. Okay, so this is the Dante Club. It's basically a mystery book about a series of murders that were based off of Dante's Inferno, which it's basically like the circles of hell and why the people that are there. So like lust, pride, 7 deadly sins, stuff like that. It's also a bunch of guys trying to solve this murder. But yeah, that's really it. I've had this for a really long time, and I still have yet to read it, so I'm a little nervous. But I guess I'll report back once I'm done with it. Hello again. I'm back. I finished the Dante Club, and honestly, I didn't like it. I really did not enjoy it. I gave it 3 stars, and I think now, looking back on it, it was a really generous rating. Also, it's sunny outside, so excuse my squinting. Yeah, I really don't feel like talking about it that much. It was really pretentious, and I felt like I needed to take like 3 history classes to actually understand what was going on. And it was really over descriptive in the areas that didn't need any explanation. So, kind of an odd way to end off the video. I was kind of hoping that it'd be better, but I do understand why it took me so long to pick it up, and it was for good reason. I'm glad I can get it off my shelf now, though, at least. Just to recap, I read 4 books for this video. We started off a lot better than we ended, but we got through it, and I honestly really enjoyed the wheel. Like, it felt like a good incentive to actually read, but I'm going to take a little break from it now because I want to read whatever I want. But yeah, thanks for taking this mini journey with me, and for waiting so long for this video, because I've taken like a bajillion million years. The process took a lot longer than I thought, so thank you for your patience or your lack of care, I guess. However, I will see you later, hopefully a lot sooner. Thank you for watching, and bye bye!